studios on the SUNY Oneonta campus, this is Oneonta News Now. I'm Caitlin Horit.
And I'm Vincent Cataldo.
Before we start the news, meteorologist Matthew Miles joins us with a look at the Oneonta weather cam.
Thanks, Caitlin. Well, we got a bit of a warm-up today. I'll let you know how long that's going to last after the break. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Matt.
I love bacon too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary.
Bye, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
For local news, summer temperatures brought families and crowds to the Farmers Museum's 40th annual Harvest Festival this weekend. At the Lippett Farmstead, textiles expert Claire Ottoman showed how to spin wool yarn by hand with the needle of a Cinderella-style spinning wheel. At the barn, visitors peered in with interest of the daily milking of the resident shorthorn cow, Cinnamon, who was left with a reserve to feed her 3-month-old calf. Horse-drawn carriage rides gave visitors a tour of the barn and tavern, while others posed for tint-type portraits, a popular mode of photography in the 1850s and 1860s. Fenmore Museum Manager of Arts Education, Kevin Gray, says people have been really enjoying it, and the kids have loved looking through the camera to see that it's upside down and backwards.
State Senator James Seward announced the West Oneonta Fire Department is receiving a $30,000 grant to upgrade an obsolete outdoor siren system. The old system is over 60 years old, and Chief Walter Schmidt says the new outdoor siren is a tool that will improve our response time and help alert the community of emergency situations. The new siren is capable of several different tone warnings for fire alerting and natural disasters. Along with voice announcements, it is also 100% solar powered. A 21-year-old Oranski Falls man led Otsego County deputies on a chase Wednesday that ended with his car on fire. Deputies attempted to stop Jonah G. Piatti for speeding on State Route 23. It wasn't until he was attempting to pass a car on State Highway 51 when his engine caught on fire. Piatti was charged with 2nd and 3rd degree aggravated unlicensed operation of a motor vehicle and multiple violations, along with 7th degree criminal possession of a controlled substance. Piatti was sent to the Otsego County Jail in lieu of $5,000 cash bail. He is scheduled to reappear in court September 24th, and more charges are pending, according to the release. 2 Oneonta high school seniors will be attending the New York State Music Association's All-State Conference this fall. Liam Flynn and Zen Lavin, who were among 900 accepted into the conference out of 9,000 who auditioned, will perform in the mixed choir. The all-state bands, choruses, orchestras, and jazz ensembles are honor groups consisting of the top students from school music departments across the state. Megan Dyer, the high school's choir director, said that while Oneonta typically has 1 student going to NYSSMA All-State, it is quite unique to have 2 people make it from our little school. Dyer went on to say that Flynn and Lavin have both been wonderful, incredibly passionate kids about everything they do, and that other students look up to them. The conference will take place in Rochester from November 29th to December 2nd. This will be a life-changing experience and good exposure for them, and we wish them both the best of luck.
Thanks, Vincent. We have your entertainment news when we come back, so stay tuned to Oneonta News Now.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary.
Bye, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
We're back with your entertainment news update with Natalie Costanza and Felicia Lewis. What's going on this week in entertainment, ladies?
There is a ton of great things happening on our campus this week. So drum roll please, percussionist and composer Sarah Hennies will be on campus tomorrow, Wednesday, September 19th, to lead a variety of workshops for campus students. This event is organized by the music department's New Music Focus series. Hennies will be engaging students in a variety of events ranging from topics within the transgender community and discussing the idea of queer percussion and how percussive instruments are true complex beings, just like people. No matter your experience with experimental music or your knowledge of the transgender community, join in the conversation at 3 o'clock p.m. in Fine Arts Room M201 or at the screening of Hennies' film Contralto at 7 o'clock p.m. in the Red Dragon Theater. All of the events featuring Sarah Hennies are free and lead credit will be given to attendees. SUNY Oneonta is currently preparing for the most incredible weekend of the school year. Family Weekend kicks off for all students and families on Friday, September 21st. Families of students are expected to arrive in masses to enjoy the SUNY Oneonta experience. Activities this upcoming weekend include planetarium shows hosted in Perna Science, a luncheon from Brooks Barbecue, kickball and Wii bowling tournaments, multiple SUNYAC soccer games, as well as free showings of the highly anticipated Incredibles 2 movie, and a tour and an interactive experience in our very own Wire TV television studio, hosted by no other than the club's wonderful advisor, Dave Giese. The weekend wraps up with the comedic musician, Ben Seidman, who co-stars in Magic Outlaws on the Travel Channel. More information can be found on Campus Connection and in the Cork app. We look forward to our Red Dragon families coming together for a wonderful weekend.
For some national entertainment news, in Mac Miller's last will and testament, the artist names his parents as beneficiaries. Leading documents filed in 2013 and obtained by E! News state that the rapper left all his belongings to his mother, Karen Meyer, father, Mark McCormick, and brother, Miller McCormick. It also lists his lawyer, David Barnes, as the trustee who will remain in charge of his estate. However, if the lawyer is unable to maintain his duties, the responsibility will be passed to his brother, Miller. It is unclear how much Miller's estate is valued at since the field was marked unknown when it was filed in 2013. In the week after the swimming artist died, the performer's body was transported to his hometown of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, although no funeral plans have been announced. The Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation advocates for wildlife and environmental protection to help save animals and the planet, but apparently the organization's namesake prevented something else from extinction all on his own. That's right, according to Coldplay singer Chris Martin, Leonardo DiCaprio salvaged cargo shorts for all of mankind. The foundation just celebrated its 20th anniversary and had a gala on Saturday night in Sonoma, California, which included a performance by Coldplay. Before Martin and his band began their set, the Fix You singer praised DiCaprio for his dedication to environmental and sartorial choices. Cargo shorts salvation aside, the Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation's 20th anniversary gala was a star-studded event co-hosted by Lauren Powell, who was married to the late Steve Jobs. All the food from the event was sourced locally and used all renewable energy. DiCaprio and the funds to help victims of Hurricane Florence, which has flooded many parts of North and South Carolina.
That's all for our entertainment news. Back to you, Caitlin.
Thanks for joining us, Natalie and Felicia. We have your national news coming up, so stay tuned to ONN.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
In national news, one of the worst hurricanes to hit the United States this year, catastrophic flooding from Florence spread across the Carolinas on Sunday, with roads to Wilmington cut off by the epic deluge and muddy river water swamping entire neighborhoods miles inland. The risk to life is rising with the angry waters, Governor Roy Cooper declared as the storm's death toll climbed to 15. The storm continued to crawl westward, dumping more than 30 inches of rain in spots since Friday, and fears of historic flooding grew. Tens of thousands were evacuated from communities along the state's steadily rising rivers. In North Carolina, fears of what could be the worst flooding in the state's history led officials to order tens of thousands to evacuate, though it wasn't clear how many had fled or even could. The head of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, Brock Long, said officials were focused on finding people and rescuing them.
A supervisory U.S. Border Patrol agent is now being called a serial killer after facing arrest Saturday for the deaths of 4 people after a near fifth victim escaped and alerted a police officer. Juan David Ortiz, 35, confessed to killing 4 people between September 3rd and September 15th. The bodies of 4 victims were found over the past 2 weeks, and investigators are not ruling out the possibility of more victims. Ortiz was charged with 4 murder charges and 1 unlawful restraint with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. All of the victims worked as prostitutes, according to authorities. The prosecutor says he feels comfortable describing Ortiz as a serial killer.
A woman accusing Judge Brett Kavanaugh of sexual misconduct more than 30 years ago came forward publicly Sunday, detailing her allegations about the Supreme Court nominee in an interview with the Washington Post. The paper said Christine Blasey Ford, a professor in California, reached out to the Post in July as Kavanaugh's name appeared on short lists to replace Justice Anthony Kennedy. But she opted not to speak with the Post on the record for weeks, as her private outreach to California Democrat Senator Dianne Feinstein became public over the past week. She decided to go ahead and speak out herself. Sunday's report said, she now believes that her civic responsibility is outweighing her anguish and terror about retaliation. Kavanaugh completely denies the allegations, and we will follow this story as time progresses.
Amazon is currently investigating allegations that some of its employees have offered to leak confidential information and delete negative product reviews in exchange for money. The practice is particularly pronounced in China, according to an article published by the Wall Street Journal. An Amazon spokeswoman told CNN, "We hold our employees to a high ethical standard, and anyone in violation of our codes faces discipline, including termination and potential legal and criminal penalties." Brokers in the southern Chinese city of Shenzhen offered internal data and reviewer email addresses to independent sellers for payments ranging from $80 to $2,000. The brokers were also proposing to delete negative reviews and restore banned accounts, according to the report. Amazon has, quote, sophisticated systems to restrict and audit access to information, unquote. According to the company, the spokeswoman added that they would also punish sellers who break its rules.
Thanks, Caitlin. When we come back, our meteorologist will take a look at your 5-day weather forecast. Stay with us.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back to Oneonta News Now. Let's find out what the weather has in store for us this week with our meteorologist, Matthew Miles.
Thanks, Caitlin. Well, as you can see, we're looking at a little bit of tree off the library here. And as you can see, there's no leaves on the tree. It's starting to get colder out. Winter time's approaching really quickly for Oneonta. So what we're going to headline here is clouds are going to stick around. Temperature jumps into the 50s, which is insane for this time of year, like mind-boggling. Rain chance throughout the week, and we'll get to that with our radar. But as we look, the high for today was about 42 degrees with mostly cloudy skies and a southwest wind about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And that's what made it a little warmer. It would have been around the 30s, upper 30s if we didn't have that southerly wind. But as we get into our northeast temps, as you can see, this is a bunch of gibberish, but the important part to look at here is that we're in our 40s, we're in our 30s, and that's our region of temperature for right now. As we look at the radar, no, this is not snow, so don't worry. It's just rain going across the region. As you can see, the northeast and up near Nebraska, the Dakotas, the 200 people that are being impacted up there, they are getting a little bit of rain. But as we look into tomorrow, a warm up to about 51 degrees with still some light showers, lingering showers throughout the day. And our wind speed picks up to not 10 miles per hour, but 11 miles per hour. So that extra gust could really push the hair off a little. So just be aware of that. Be aware, maybe bring an umbrella for those traveling conditions. As we look at our forecast, we have a chance of rain in this region, and out west they're getting pummeled with snow. That's insane to talk about in September, but it is possible. As we move on for the region, for a 5-day forecast, we got 43 with a chance of snow in Oneonta in September. Wow. 51 on Thursday. 65 by, Friday. That feels about normal for this time of year. 64 Saturday. And then we drop back down to 46 on Sunday. Winter is all of a sudden here, and we didn't even know it. Back to you guys.
That weather is crazy. In international news, one of China's most famous actresses has disappeared without a trace and amid an uproar over tax evasion by celebrities. The X-Men actress Fan Bingbing was named China's most famous actress by Time magazine in 2015. Questions about the actress's whereabouts rose after having been seen in public since early June of this year, when, according to a post on her verified social media account, she went to visit a children's hospital in Tibet. No official statement has been made as to Fan's whereabouts or any potential criminal charges against the actress. However, in a country where top celebrities are forced to keep an inoffensive public profile to stay in the Chinese government's good side, people have drawn their own conclusions about the actress's location. These rumors come after China's best-known artist, Al Weiwei, was detained for almost 3 months in 2011, and similar to Fan, his whereabouts were unclear. He was later released after he signed a confession authorizing authorities described as being related to tax evasion.
In a bizarre story, the Mexican Police Department are questioning 2 people after a group of men in mariachi outfits opened fire at a Mexico City restaurant, killing 5 people, an official with the city's Secretary of Public Security office told news officials. More arrests are expected as the investigation continues. The motive for the shooting is not known. Dozens of mariachi bands were serenading couples and families Friday in the city's iconic plaza, Garibaldi, when 5 men disguised as musicians unleashed a hail of gunfire. 5 people were killed and several others were wounded, the city's prosecutor's office said.
U.S. whistleblower Chelsea Manning has been refused a visa to enter Australia, where she was due to make a series of public appearances in a statement released by Manning's Tory company. They said they have been notified of the Department of Home Affairs decision and would be appealing it. Think Inc. believes Ms. Manning is entitled to freedom of expression and political opinion, which are foundations of a free and democratic society and fundamental human rights. The organization's official statement said, Her first public engagement was due to be held at the Sydney Opera House on Sunday, her touring company said before appearances in Melbourne and Brisbane.
As everyone in America is focused on Hurricane Florence, there's another storm that is being called the strongest storm of the year. The name of this storm is Typhoon Mangkhut, and it has continued its path of destruction across Southeast Asia over the weekend, reaching mainland China on Sunday afternoon after pummeling Hong Kong and killing dozens in the Philippines. The storm has carved a deadly trail across the region, killing 2 people in southern China and at least 54 in the Philippines. Many of the Philippines' deaths were caused by landslides, with dozens more still believed to be buried beneath the deluge, government officials said at a news conference Sunday. More than 2.45 million have been evacuated in China's Guangdong province as Mangkhut made landfall at 5 p.m. local time. According to Chinese state media, Mangkhut is now expected to move inland of western Guangdong. While the storm has weakened, a T8 warning was still in place into Sunday evening, meaning that winds with speeds of about 63 kilometers were expected. We will hope for the best for them as this record-shattering storm weakens.
It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary.
Bye, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to Oneonta News Now. So Jarrett and Austin, what's going on in sports this week?
Well, Caitlin and Vincent, there's a lot to talk about when it comes to sports, so let's get right to it. For some campus sports news. After coming in at 4th place at Hamilton College just last week, the SUNY Oneonta men's cross-country team had an amazing comeback with a nearly perfect performance, winning the Airfield Invitational this past Saturday. The Red Dragons put 7 scoring runners on the top 8, with only 1 Delhi runner squeezing in at 5th place. Oneonta's upperclassmen led the squad today, with all of the top 7 runners either being juniors or seniors. The overall winner of the race was junior crossing in at 19 minutes and 1 second, while his classmate was right on his heels at 19 minutes and 2 seconds. The next 2 Red Dragons to cross the finish line were seniors Chris Hannon and Devin Ackerley, with times of 19 minutes and 12 seconds and 19 minutes and 32 seconds respectively. Red Dragon Fever returned with 6th place contestant Ryan Brennan with a time of 19 minutes and 41 seconds. Blake Delabue coming in in 7th place with a time of 20 minutes and 10 seconds. The Oneonta State Red Dragons undoubtedly dominated the field of 44 runners. The Oneonta cross-country team will compete again in 2 weeks on September 29th at the Paul Shore Invitational hosted by Lehigh University. Saturday was an exciting day for sports on campus. Not only did both the men's and women's cross-country teams see victory, but so did the men's soccer team. The Red Dragons scored single goals in each half, resulting in a 2-0 shootout visiting Vassar College. Oneonta had a chance to grab the lead early when a junior got behind the defense and headed a ball that hit the right post. The ball was chipped into the goal area by a sophomore from just outside the box. The Brewers' only chance came in the second half, which came early when Jonathan broke it behind the defense and tried to chip a ball past Giordano. But he was able to get his hand out and send it wide. Hernandez gave the Red Dragons a 2-0 lead when he redirected a service from a senior on a corner kick. Giordano finished the match with the 9 saves, while Will Marmont made 4 stops for the Brewers. All around, a proud day to be able to call yourself a Red Dragon. That's it for Campus Sports Report. What's going on in sports outside of SUNY Oneonta, Austin?
Well, Jarrett, in MLB news, the Yankees call up their #1 prospect, Justice Sheffield. You might remember his dad, Gary Sheffield, who also played for the Yankees. Justice Sheffield will join the Yankees bullpen on Tuesday. The 22-year-old lefty gave up 3 unearned runs in a 1-inning Saturday for AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre in the Rail Riders' season-ending loss in the Governor's Cup. Sheffield had mixed results after being moved to the bullpen late in the season. He allowed 4 earned runs in 12 1/3 innings after the move to the pen, though the Yankees will still see a long-term future as a starter. Also in Yankees news, superstar Aaron Judge and the fast-starting closer Aroldis Chapman are likely to be coming back to the Yankees before the season is over. As of right now, the Yankees are set to be the first in the AL wildcard. In NFL news, the New York Jets won a game. Amazing, right? The New York Jets killed the Detroit Lions 48-17. The Jets opened the season with a prime-time game on Monday Night Football. They tied for the 4th highest single-game scoring output in franchise history. They managed to get 31 points in the 3rd quarter alone. This game was also the first of Sam Darnold's first NFL game. He finished the day going 16 for 21 for 198 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a single early interception. If this game is an indication of what the Jets' future might be, then I might have to start telling people that, yeah, actually, I am a Jets fan.
And that's it for your weekly sports report. Back to you at the news desk.
Thanks, Jared and Austin. Join us again next week for your up-to-date news, sports, weather, and more. I'm Vincent Cataldo.
And I'm Caitlin Hort. This is Oneonta News Now. Have a great night.